Hello, Dijon here. In the comics portion of episode 141 of the Mustardcast, we go over what books we've been reading lately and review issues number 4 and 5 of Absolute Wonder Woman. Please enjoy. Yeah, moving on to comics. What have you guys been reading lately?
Let's see. For me, I just got back from a con, and so um, at said con in the artist alley, like there's tons of people with like indie comics and indie books and whatnot. But one in particular caught my eye. I don't know if I've talked about this on the podcast before, but I DM. Like I'm a dungeon master, like outside of all this. And my campaign that I've been running for like a year now is coming to an end within the next couple months, which is like insane to me to think about. I try not to because then I get sad, but I needed a new system to run because it's like I love vanilla D&D, but I wanted to run something different just for the kicks and giggles and I have the experience. And at the con that I went to, there was a guy and he was selling these books, his own system that he'd been like coming up with for like I think like 3 years. It's called Lancer, and it's like mech based. So it's like you instead of playing like like a druid or a ranger or a fighter, you play like a mech pilot, like a heavy mech pilot or a
Ooh,
yeah, it's really interesting, and I've been reading through that and getting like a feel for the rules and like what running it would look like,
Is
and
there
it's
like,
really
are there
mhm.
mechanics for like if your mech breaks down or you have to get out of the mech?
Yes, actually. Yes.
Cool.
It's a really rich
Are
system.
they
It's really
like
fun. And
big
mm,
mechs or like
they're customizable actually.
Iron Man size mechs?
It varies. Because the way it works in Lancer is that you instead of leveling up, you get licenses the stronger your character gets and the more like experience your character gets. And different licenses allow you access to different parts for your mech. And so your mech might start off small, like Iron Man size, but they can get pretty big. But of course, there's caveats to that because, a Big Mac is like harder to take care of, harder to do ability checks for, harder to this, that, and the third. And it's like, it's really sophisticated. I really like this system. Also,
That
I got the
sounds
hardcover
like,
copy.
yeah, it'd be sick to
Mhm.
just run a D&D based campaign, but have like all these other characters be more traditional D&D classes, but then just have one person be a lancer.
In a Mac. Yeah, that would be fun, actually. I'm gonna note that down for later. But yeah, I got a hardcover copy of the book. I cannot recommend this system enough. It's really sophisticated. I got it signed because the guy was there and I feel special. But yeah, Lancer is really, really good. And they have their own like companion app for it that I haven't checked out yet, but want to. That's really been taking up the bulk of my reading time. Is because it's heavy. It's a heavy book. I'll bring
you
it into
should send a
work.
picture of it.
Yeah, I will. I will. I'll send a picture and then I'll bring it into work the next time we're both in person, Deshaun, so I can show you. You can take a look at it.
Yeah, it looks sick. I'm looking at the like the key art they have on like the website for the publishing companies is really cool.
Hmm. It's like I'm just surprised I had never heard of this. It's like entirely up my alley.
Maybe at some point
I think he
Still
did like
so
all
much I
the
don't know.
maybe at some point once me and Bree get into D&D, we do cyberpunk.
Yeah, that's
ooh,
what I'm thinking.
mm, that'd be
Or like
fun. That'd be
a
fun.
arcane-esque thing. I'd be down for that.
Mm,
All I know is that I want to do something steampunk-esque.
makes sense.
Anything else?
Ooh, I should have gotten the. I'm looking at the books on their website. I should have gotten the scenario books too. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's fine. That's it for me. Besides what we're gonna be talking about later.
All right. How
Hmm.
about you, Bree?
Nothing.
All right. So, still reading Son of Achilles, making steady progress there. I'm trying to think where I left off. Like 2 chapters or so after they set off for the war. I left off. I think I finished the chapter where Achilles, like, and his fleet lands and meets Agamemnon and everybody else. So yeah, enjoying that a lot. Uh, I also resubscribed to Shonen Jump so that I could catch up on multiple things. One Punch Man, I'm caught up on now. because for some reason they decided to just release a dozen chapters randomly one day after being inactive for months, and I was like, why would you do this to me? So, and that price went up by $1, which sucks. It used to be $2.99. But yeah, still significantly cheaper than most book subscription services, but I like not spending that dollar.
Right.
So yeah, I'm caught up on One Punch Man now. I have started to catch up on One Piece, just like the show.
Ooh.
Even though I'm not trying to catch up on the show, I'm just watching it to have fun. But I'm actively attempting to catch up via the manga. I've read like a dozen chapters now. It's like, I'll do it. I'm gonna get it done. And I'm also reading. Started doing the thing I said I would do, which is reading JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 6 up to where I left off in the anime to refresh my memory of what happened, so that I can continue watching anime where I left off in time for Steel Ball Run in, I believe, March. In terms of some
So
Marvel,
soon.
yes, very soon. In terms of some Marvel comics, I started reading Captain America because Chip Zdarsky is writing it right now. Chip Zdarsky wrote Daredevil a few years back, and that Daredevil run is goated. It is one of the best comics I've ever read in my life. So when I heard he was writing Captain America, I was like, I like Captain America. Let me read that. I came across this person on Instagram who will like commentate over Captain America fight scenes where Captain America just absolutely demolishes regular people, and it's hilarious. That man is putting people on shirts. Like, people forget this man was a soldier in World War II. He shot people. He kills people. Captain America doesn't give a fuck. It is hilarious. You probably saw it in my story because I posted multiple of them, and it is so funny. And because of that, I was like, I need to read some Captain America. And Chip Zdarsky's writing right now. I should check that out. So I read the first 3 issues. Here's the thing I don't like about Marvel Unlimited. If you want to keep up with ongoing comics, fuck you, because you are going to be 3 months behind always. With DC, it's 1 month. Marvel, it's 3. You're always 3 months behind. So if a new book comes out, I'm like, damn, I'm excited to read that. I gotta wait 3 months before I read the first issue, though, because they hate you and everything you stand for, despite the amount of money you're paying for it. But besides that, it's a good book. It is actually telling. The story is starting off with Captain America's like early days after he was de-thawed from ice by the Avengers. Because a lot of people don't know this. Because in movies, naturally, you don't read. The vast majority of people watch movies don't read comics. Captain America, he's not a founding Avengers. The original 5 Avengers. Watch Earth's Mightiest Heroes. They do it this way, where it is Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, Ant-Man, and the Wasp, and then they find Cap and unthaw him, and then he joins the Avengers. And they're telling some stories about his early days where before he went back he joined the Avengers, he actually, because was the first the villain they fought was Loki. He helped them fight Loki, and then he went back to the military because he's a soldier, and he just got unthawed, and to him, no time passed, in his mind at least. So he just went back to being a soldier, and it's essentially the process of him realizing, oh, America sucks, especially since time is a weird sliding scale in comics where like Captain America originally was de-thawed like only 20 years after the war. Now it's been far longer than that. So in like the current canon, he was de-thawed in the early 2000s. So during the War on Terror. So he went back to the US military during that time, and he's been like, oh, these guys kind of suck. And that's a very interesting story. It's very fun. Very topical. So like that's Captain America. Like it sucks when other like specifically X-Men comics, whenever X-Men comics write Captain America, they write him as a racist piece of shit, when it's like, no, that's not who he is. But Captain America, his whole thing is, if you ever read a Captain America comic, he's always telling the US government fuck you. Every single one of his comics, damn near. That's his whole thing. He's not Captain America because he agrees with America. He's Captain America because he believes in what America can be. He started off being for America, but then he came back and was like, y'all suck. And whenever X-Men writers love to make him the just the butt of a story and have him be racist towards the mutants, I'm like, he wouldn't do that. He would be on their side every single time. There is no time where he would not be on the mutant side. And if you want to do that, use U.S. Agent. If you want evil Captain America, there's literally an evil Captain America. Use him. They literally made this man like 40 years ago. Use that guy. But
I have
anyway,
to look this guy up because I've never heard of him. Hold
U.S.
on.
Agent. He's in a movie you should watch, Thunderbolts. But he
Okay.
first showed up in the MCU specifically in Captain America, or not Captain America, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the Disney Plus show. But he's in
This
the
guy
Thunderbolts.
looks like evil Captain America.
Yeah. He's Captain America if he was drinking a Kool-Aid.
Oh, he does. What the?
Super Patriot is a crazy name for him.
Also, continuing to read the New Mutants, and I finally reached the Demon Bear arc, which is like the most iconic arc from the story. So I'm excited to read more of that. I read Ultimate Black Panther number 21, and moving on to some DC comics. I read Absolute Green Lantern number 9, still good. Like I said, issue 8, amazing. And they're continuing some good stuff from there. Birds of Prey number 28, which is the end of an era, the end of this story. It's unfortunate. I wish it could go on longer. I read Poison Ivy number 38 and 39, but not in that order. I accidentally read 39 first because I didn't realize I didn't read 38. And I read 39, and we've had this conversation before, Aiara. Sometimes I'll make a mistake and skip a chapter, and it won't feel like I skipped a chapter.
Oh, boy.
Like the chapter after the chapter I skipped will feel like it's picking up where like the story left off. And I'm just like, how is that possible? And then I read 38, and I'm like, okay, yeah, this does bridge things, but I low-key would have been fine without it, even though I'm glad I read it because it was good. But like,
and that's something like that's really been rough to adjust to with comics for me, because it's like with manga, if you skip a chapter, you miss so much. But it's like there's been many a time like in reading like comics nowadays where it's like I'll fat finger and skip a chapter by accident. It's like, oh, I'm following what's going on completely. And I am, but it's like, you know, you're missing context. It's just weird. It's so strange.
Yeah.
I can't say I don't dislike it though. That means it's like the storytelling's really, really good.
Yeah.
In my eyes.
For sure. I read Absolute Batman number 15, and oh my god. Y'all need to I'm low-key like, man, we need to just read more Absolute Batman. Because Absolute Batman number 15 is when they finally properly introduce the Joker. And it is crazy. I'm not gonna say anything else, because you guys are gonna get to it eventually if you read it on your own. Oh my god, you're not ready. You're not ready. There's a quote from Alfred where Alfred is telling Bruce about the Joker and what he knows, all the intelligence he has on him. And he says, a clown plays the fool while making a fool of everyone else. He's a mastermind, the schemer. And I was like, this is good shit.
Eating this up.
Red Batgirl number 14, Action Comics 1093, and Nightwing 133. Moving on to Absolute Wonder Woman issues 4 and 5, because we read the first 3, of course. But this first volume is 7 issues because they finish up the first arc in these first 5 issues, and then there's a mini arc with a different artist for issues 6 and 7, which will be really fun. Art's really good in that. But yeah, quick synopsis. In issue number 4, the Tetracide is the Four-Killer, and Diana has done the unthinkable to escape its fatal grasp. The move may have saved her to fight another day, but the price Diana paid is more than she can stand to lose for the fight that's coming. She will need the help of her allies, both old and new, to recover what she has lost and save Gateway City. And in issue number 5, it's only been a few hours since Diana took up the mission of missing Amazons and swore to protect Gateway City from an unspeakable cosmic horror. And her first battle may already be ending in defeat, unless her own homegrown tribe of Amazons steps into the breach beside her. Okay, so instead of talking about art, you want to just hop into it and then we'll talk as we go? Unless either of you had something pressing in terms of art specifically you want to talk about.
No.
Sure.
All right. So getting into some, further analysis and then a deeper synopsis. For issue number 4, we open with 2 black women watching the broadcast of Wonder Woman warning the public of Gateway City of her deafen spell and urging citizens to help each other in the confusion from the end of last issue. One of the women writes a note saying that she's going out to help, and when she opens the door to leave, Wonder Woman and Steve Trevor are standing outside the door. with the tetracide looming in the background very creepily. I didn't notice until I was going through to write the synopsis earlier that the tetracide was standing right behind them on the
He's
beach.
just there.
Um, yeah, and then Steve Trevor speaks despite the deafening spell, greeting Etta and Gia Candy. Both women are starstruck upon seeing Diana, but she quickly calms them down as Steve explains that Diana was looking for a witch and he thought of him. Diana then starts to gather ingredients from the Candy Sisters' shop with the help of Gia to reconstitute her arm. Once she gathers everything, she also needs a bit of each person's blood to complete the spell and begins to cast it while Steve, Etta, and Gia spy on her from behind a curtain. We then get the title page and credits before flashing back to the past of the Wild Isle in Hell to a panicked Cersei talking to a mysterious entity about the injustice of her imprisonment and the forcing of Diana on her. This entity is revealed to be Hecate, the goddess of magic, who tells Cersei that there is an unnatural darkness in the universe that needs to be dispelled and implies that Diana will be instrumental in doing so, and that she has already shown to be able to change even Cersei, and that Cersei's teachings are necessary to raise the hero they need. From there, we see Cersei go back into her home to lay with Diana as she speaks of the dreams she's had of Diana's future. Flashing back to the present, Diana has completed her spell and reconstructed her arm. And I love the way they use magic in this book, and that it has a cost, and that we see them using
Mhm.
So
ingredients,
much better.
super witchy.
Mhm.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Diana then praises Etta for being willing to go out to help people despite the danger, and we learn that Etta was a detective, but is now a private investigator. After their short conversation, Diana goes to leave when she sees the tetracide moving toward the city, since no one is coming to it, it's going to them. Diana lures it back to the beach with its own sound before enlarging her sword of Athena and slicing it in half in an awesome, piece of artwork. So cool.
That part was insane.
It was.
Yeah. On the last page, we enter the Oval Office where the president is watching what's happening and asks his national security advisor, Veronica Cale, for help. And she says that even if Wonder Woman kills the tetracide, they would still have a very big problem in Wonder Woman herself. So what did you guys think of issue number 4 specifically?
It was very lesbian heavy. Gia has the
Mhm.
fetish crush on Diana. I
Mhm.
peeped
For
it
sure.
immediately.
Mhm.
They had like a lot of close encounter scenes in this issue. Like where Gia's getting all the ingredients for her and they're like talking at the counter or whatever. And like the angle showed like they were about to kiss or something. I'm like, whoa.
Very
Slow
gay.
down.
Very gay. I'm a fan. But I did there's a couple things that really stood out to me in this chapter, like narratively. For one, it was a background thing, but like the idea, you brought up Deshaun, like that magic has a price in this, and like I love that they represented that even in the small things with like Diana asking for ingredients that are poisonous to normal humans, and the Candy Sisters having them, but they're locked away, and like you have to put on gloves and all these things, and it's like I really thought that like of course the idea of like having to give up blood blah 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 is like the a sacrifice that people think about, but it's like I
Mhm.
really think it's powerful storytelling to show the sacrifices people don't think of when it comes to magic, because it's like it lends to that idea of like women's work being invisible in that sense, and I thought that was really 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 strong narratively. And then when Circe is praying to Hecate later on in the book. They do this thing where they split her face into three a lot with the panel work, and I think that's beautiful.
Mhm.
Doubly so because Hecate not only is the goddess of magic, but she's also the goddess of crossroads and is often depicted with three faces. And I thought that was a neat callback
Yeah, I believe that
to her
Historia
origin.
depicted her with 3 faces.
Yeah, just
But
good chapter, real good.
Yeah, is that it?
Think so.
yes.
Also, Wonder Woman with her big ass Buster sword. I did not think it could get bigger,
Mm.
Yeah.
but it
Yeah, I was
could, and
shook.
it did.
The biggest
And
anime
I was
sword
a big
possible.
fan. Right. And the fact that she's strong enough to wield it, swoon.
Yeah. Moving on to issue number 5. After cutting the tetracide in half, Diana catches her sword as it shrinks and falls to the ground, while thinking about the fact that it wasn't a killing blow because she didn't bisect it perfectly in half. But before she can finish her thought, missiles begin being fired at the recovering Tetracide, and three of them are deflected by the monster and shot toward the city. Diana manages to stop two, but one escapes her and is instead taken care of by Pegasus. Diana shows an incredible feat of speed and flight by catching up with the jets that fired them and asking them very politely to not do it again, which they oblige, understandably so. If a person flew next to my jet, I'd be like, yeah, you know what? You got it.
Yes, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
We then get a title and credit page again that goes into a flashback on the Wild Isle of Hell, where Diana and Cersei are on the beach arguing about the cruelty of a new tool Cersei created for Diana. I originally wrote weapon, but I was like, no, I'm going to change it to tool because it's a tool. It's not necessarily a weapon, you know?
Mhm.
She made a second lasso called Sacrifice, which has the power to transmogrify. Diana tested it on a harpy and found it cruel, and Cersei essentially tells her that cruelty is sometimes necessary and walks away. Diana is then visited by Hecate, who explains to her that the sacrifice lasso is Cersei's way of leaving Diana with a part of herself to help her on her journey, and that the part of herself that she's leaving Diana isn't cruelty, but the ability to transform and to change, because Diana made her believe that people and things can change. Diana then goes to apologize to her mother and ask her to teach her to master sacrifice. As I read Song of Achilles alongside this, I can't help but see similarities between Achilles and Diana in the sense of being these God-blessed beings destined for greatness, visited by gods. Kelly Thompson definitely writes this like a Greek tragedy, and that's really fun.
Have you, Dijon, gotten to the one line in Song of I don't even know if I want to spoil it for you.
I don't know. Probably shouldn't.
I probably won't. But there was a moment in this chapter that reminded me of a line from the Song of Achilles. So I'm glad we're on the same wavelength there. Because it's like I read it and I'm like, oh, she's so
Yeah.
and you'll probably know it when you get to it.
Okay.
I feel like. And if you don't, let me know
All
and
right.
I will tell you.
We then flash back to the present, where Diana uses sacrifice to transform herself into Medusa and turn the many-eyed Tetracide to stone. Back at the Kraken Bar, Steve is now joined by Etta, Gia, and Barbara, who explains to a confused Etta the legend of Medusa. Barbara, that is, explains to Etta. She explains that Medusa was assaulted by Poseidon in one of Athena's temples, and that Athena punished Medusa instead of Poseidon, but she also explains that may not be the whole truth. Meanwhile, after turning the Tetracide to stone, she is still a Gorgon and rampaging around the city, so Steve blindfolds himself and goes out to help Diana remember who she is, and she is way bigger than I expected when we first saw her transform. Like when Steve reaches out and you see her face is the size of his whole body, I was like, oh my god, I didn't realize she got that big. I thought she was just the size of a normal person, but with a snake tail and scales and snake hair. But no, she was gigantic. But after transforming back and hugging and thanking Steve, continuing to build up their romance in a way that I'm really enjoying. She then goes to punch and shatter the Tetracide's petrified corpse to make sure that it dies this time. And then Steve, Etta, Gia, and Barbara meet Diana on the beach to ask if it's over, which Diana says yes, before being pulled into hell by a glowing blue hand. Yeah, I like how I don't think it's a spoiler to say that this is our little group. You know, it is Steve, Etta, Gia, and Barbara, and of course Wonder Woman herself. And we'll get more of them going forward. You know, fun little group. A private detective, witch,
A witch assistant.
yeah, a witch's assistant. We have Wonder Woman herself, who's the Witch of the Wild Isle. We have Steve Trevor, who's a soldier, Etta, who's a private investigator, Gia, who's like you said, a witch assistant, and Barbara, who's a historian. That's a very good team of people to work alongside Diana.
Pegasus.
Yeah, and then Pegasus. Can't forget Pegasus. You're right. Can't forget Pegasus. Pegasus is the GOAT.
I do think that this is a very fascinating team. I like that it's kind of ragtag. It makes it not more relatable, but I kind of like them a little better than if they were like, you know, these big established like people in her canon. It feels like I feel closer to them.
Well, every single one of them are established people in her canon.
Well, of course, yeah, but I mean like in the context of this book.
Yeah, it's like they so happen to be together instead of like, all right, this is the
Mm-mm.
team that we're forming.
It's very, very Greek in that way.
Hmm.
Yeah, what are you guys' thoughts on issue number 5?
I was mainly shook about like her turning into Medusa because I was like, I didn't know she could do something like this. I don't
Yeah,
know if this is
Right.
just like
that was cool as hell.
for this universe or like can she just do this in general?
I mean, she doesn't have that lasso in the main universe.
Mm.
Really? Hmm. How many lassos does she have? Because
There are multiple lassos in the main universe, but she just has the
okay,
lasso of truth. She's used other lassos as well, but the one that she always has on her hip is the lasso of truth,
okay,
which she'll probably get in this eventually.
Mm. It's like, because I thought it was like, I think it's interesting, like an interesting, again, bit of narrative work that like instead of having, I mean, she like, instead of relying on the lasso of truth in this way, it's like almost the opposite in a way, where it's like how do I explain where I'm at? It's like the fact that it's like this lasso, instead of bringing the truth out of others, it brings like um I guess,
It brings the truth out of Diana, really, because
yeah,
the
and it's like,
things only they transform into what's within them. So it does still technically kind of bring out the truth, um, which is interesting. But also
mm,
the more like direct opposite is don't forget the nemesis lasso that is just
right,
causes
yeah,
okay.
pain equal to the pain that you've inflicted on others. She has two
that's
lassos.
crazy.
I just think that's fascinating. I really like the little details in this book, that it's like when you think about them in the grander scheme of like who Wonder Woman is in this book and then also in greater canon. Like I just think it's fascinating work. It's very well written.
But yeah, was the Hecate thing the thing you wanted to mention?
Yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
but yeah,
Also, I like that she incorporates the gods in almost everything she does. Like she
yes,
sings their
Mhm.
praises each time, and I'm like, wow.
that is a thing,
Because like in
and
the other one, she did do that, but I feel like it's more prevalent here.
yeah, she says
Mhm.
she does it a lot, and that's a thing in the main universe comics too, which I mentioned before, but that of all the characters in the Absolute Universe, she's the one that is the most similar to her main universe counterpart in terms of personality. Um, and like this comic is just a gateway drug into reading more Wonder Woman.
For
It's
sure.
Because there's the only difference is that there will be less magic. Otherwise, it's the same character, and you'll still enjoy it.
Mm. Mm.
But hopefully, they start bringing more magic into the main universe. It's not there's not no magic. It's just not as much, and it's a different kind of magic than it is in this book. But yeah, that's all I have for Wonder Woman so far. If you guys don't have anything,
No, I'm just excited for
yeah,
volume 6 and 7 and probably whatever comes beyond, because I'll probably keep reading.
it's
yes.
so interesting. I didn't mean to
It
skip
really
ahead, but yeah.
is.
I mean, you can read
I just
ahead.
kept reading.
We're just not going to talk about it.
I'm gonna talk about it right now. But okay.
But yeah, next episode we're going to talk about we're going to finish up with issues 6 and 7.